How's it going, everyone? As you probably saw in my last video, which was the reveal of my new car, this is my 2017 Audi S3 Prestige, which I just picked up, well, about a week ago from when you're seeing this video. In this week, I have gotten somewhat familiar with the car. Granted, I don't know everything about it just yet, all of its little quirks, features, things like that, but I have absolutely fallen in love with it already. Today I want to go over some of the basics of the car, talk about it a little bit more. I want to go over the window sticker, talk about some of the options, things like that, packages that it came with. I'll show you guys some of the big features and cool things that I already love about it. I'll also briefly talk about my future plans for it, whether I'm going to keep it stock, whether I'm going to modify it, etc. But before we get started, I want to thank you guys so much for your support. The whole reason I'm able to buy this car is not entirely because of YouTube, but the additional little bit of income I do get from YouTube definitely helped me to be able to purchase this. So big thank you to you guys for your support, you know, as is your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. Every little thing you do helps, and I do truly appreciate each and every one of you. So for those of you who don't know what this car even is, this car is based on Audi's smallest sedan that they sell in the United States, which is the A3. Now the A3 standard comes with a low output 2-liter turbo engine with around like 200 horsepower, I think. This car has a 2-liter turbo engine as well, but it comes with, oddly enough, a Haldex all-wheel drive system, somewhat similar to what was in my Turbo X. It's still technically branded as Audi's Quattro, but it also comes with a big power bump, a high output 2-liter turbo, making around 290 horsepower and about 280 foot-pounds of torque. For those of you that might be familiar with the Volkswagen Golf R, this is pretty much Audi's version of it. In my opinion, it's better than the Golf R because it comes with all the Audi luxury, the Audi just appearance, and everything about this. I just think it's worth the premium over a Golf R. This is not to be confused with the Audi RS3, which is the car I really wanted, but that car is well out of my price range. This one still has plenty of potential. So like I said, this is very similar to the Golf R. Mechanically, it's just about the same drivetrain, same engine. So everything about this is just about the same as the Golf R, which is not a bad thing by any means. It's actually a very good thing. This has proven to be a fantastic platform. So this car comes with a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. So the 2015 to 2017 S3s came with a 6-speed auto, a dual clutch. The 2018 and newer came with a 7-speed dual clutch. This car is finished in glacier white metallic. Now I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my video when I was looking for cars or not. And I also do want to do another video talking about specifically why I bought this over the other cars I mentioned. One thing I really wanted out of my new car was not a car that was dark colored. I didn't want another black car or a dark blue car, just because dark colored cars are just so hard to keep clean. So when this one popped up and it was white, on top of the fact that it was a Prestige, which the S3 comes in either the Premium Plus or the Prestige trim. This is the Prestige, the higher trim, which is really cool. On top of the fact that it has just under 30,000 miles, I kind of had to jump on this. So I ended up spending a bit more than I wanted to. I initially mentioned in my video when I was going over the cars I was looking to spend 30 to 35,000 out the door. So this car retailed on Carvana at $38,990. Once you factored in taxes, registration, all of that good stuff, it came out to just under 44,000. But like I said, this car came with the Prestige package. So there were a few different packages that came on this car, or a few different options that you could get. The big one is the Prestige package, which includes the technology package, which is what everyone loves to see, which is when you come in here, your virtual cockpit, which I have to say is by far and away probably the best thing about this car. I mean, just look at how cool this is. So when I start the engine, you'll see the screen will pop up there. The screen, one downside that sucks, or one thing that sucks about it, is it's not a touch screen, so it is controlled down here. Honestly, it's very easy to use though, very straightforward. This is very well integrated for being a dial. Just to kind of quickly go over the virtual cockpit, you have 2 different view options here. You can see on the left, I'm hitting this button, it'll cycle through my music, which is, my phone's not connected right now, my phone, and then I have the map right here as well. If I hit view right here, it changes the view. So I no longer have the big tachometer, and now I have the huge map, which is super cool. I can also have it come up with all this, random information about the car that I don't necessarily care about. You will notice it also does have a boost gauge, so that's something similar to the Saabs, I suppose. But I can pull up all these things in a bigger view, which is really, really cool. So I'm gonna try not to be too, all over the place in this video, but there's a lot to go over kind of quickly. So if you come down here, you'll see you have a few different drive modes. So you can go between comfort, which is what I usually drive it in. You have auto, which kind of learns your driving style, and then you have dynamic, which is the fun mode. So when it is in dynamic, it actually has exhaust valves that open up in the back, so the car sounds a little bit louder when it's in dynamic mode. It does have a soft limiter on it too. I can only rev it to about 3,500 RPM. But I am amazed with how responsive and just quick this screen is. I mean, you can see I'm flipping through here. It's so fast to respond. The tachometer needle, it just moves at such a high refresh rate. And this was really the first car, like I mentioned, that featured the virtual cockpit. And it's also the first car, if I hop out right here and go ahead and shut it off now. It's also the first car that featured Audi's sequential turn signals right here, which are just absolutely one of my favorite features of this car, and Audis in general. It's just such a unique look. And the S3 is just such a good looking car. In my opinion, not as good as the Giulia, but the Giulia, also pretty much all of them are lemons. So I kind of did not want to take the risk on one of those. Interestingly enough, when I have this parked next to my 9.3 in the garage, the wheelbase, the length of the cars overall, I haven't gotten exact measurements, I haven't looked them up, but just from looking at it at a glance, I think these cars are about the exact same size. So that means that this is still a small, fun, compact sedan, and it's got plenty of power. 0 to 60 is supposed to be in the mid 4-second range. It definitely feels like that. I can do some videos of driving this car, definitely down the road. I'm not gonna do that today because I don't want this to be a 30-minute video. But as I mentioned, this car has the technology package. Another optional package was the black optics package, which pretty much made the grille right here black. It made these mirrors black and some other things on the car black. I didn't really want that. I really like the look of this brushed silver here on the mirrors and on the grille. I think it contrasts really well with the white. Another thing this car didn't come with was the sport seats. I'll put a picture on the screen of the sport seats. I think they look nice, don't get me wrong, but the downside of the sport seats is they're manually adjustable. You don't get automatic adjustment with the sport seats, which as soon as I found that out, I decided, don't want that, not worth it. These seats that are in the car right now are still extremely soft, extremely comfortable, and also extremely supportive. They might not look super supportive, but you can see the bolsters are still pretty good. And the quality of this interior overall is just so amazing. Everything just feels good to touch. It's all just such high quality materials. And this car also comes with an LED lighting package, which you can see from the Bang & Olufsen sound system it has, which is also A1. There's LED lights that come up around here. There's LED lights in the cup holders down here. All these light up at night. There's a nice ring that lights up around here. So it just provides a nice ambiance in the car. And it just makes it feel so premium. Everything here, this is just so high quality. It makes a good click when it comes on and off. The climate controls, just everything in here is just such high quality. And that's one of the big reasons why I chose this over the Golf R, because the Golf, it's a Volkswagen at the end of the day. I guess you could say technically this is still Volkswagen too, but the interior quality and just that was one of the big reasons that made me choose this over the Golf R. Another thing I really like about this is the flat bottom steering wheel. It's a nice small steering wheel. It's got huge aggressive sides to it. Super comfortable, super fun to grip. Has a little S badge here. There's also a nice little S badge right here that lights up at night. It has a metal pedal box, which is pretty cool. And go ahead and show you guys under the hood here. So some other cool features that this car has, some more modern stuff. It has things like adaptive cruise control. It has front and rear parking sensors, obviously has a backup camera. And one thing that I really like about it that I've noticed off the bat is every time I pull into the garage, it automatically pulls up the parking sensors, Like, it can sense that I'm pulling into my garage, and it'll pull up the reverse camera and the parking sensors, and it'll kind of help guide me into the garage, which is super cool. And the adaptive cruise is way better than any other adaptive cruise I've experienced in a car. I have a lot of experience with Toyota's adaptive cruise, and it's very clunky. It likes to slam on the brakes or accelerate pretty quick. This adaptive cruise is just so smooth, and you don't even really notice that the car is slowing down at all. Thankfully, with this car also being a 2017 and having the virtual cockpit and the technology package, it does also have Apple CarPlay. So that is another big reason why I decided to splurge and spend some more money, is because I got all this more modern tech. The 15 and 16 S3s are great, don't get me wrong, they're the same mechanically as this car, but it doesn't have all that tech that this car does that just makes this car still feel and look like a brand new car. Even though it's 5 years old, it just amazes me that this car is 5 years old, because it sure feels like it's more modern than just about almost all new cars that are still sold today. So I've been rambling a lot in this video. I do want to wrap it up. I know I've forgotten a lot of things. I've just kind of gone over, you know, some of the basics. I can show you guys the trunk. The trunk is pretty small. It's power operated. Because it is an all-wheel drive car, there isn't any room underneath, so it's definitely not as big as a 9.3 trunk. You can see I got your spare tire under there. But I don't really need a car for a ton of storage, so I'm not really upset about that. Don't really care too much. When it comes to future plans for this car, for now, it's plenty fast, it's plenty fun for me. It's definitely quicker than my Saabs, that's for sure. It has launch control, which I still have yet to try out, but I can't wait to try out because I hear it absolutely jumps off the line with this Quattro all-wheel drive. So future plans, for now it's going to stay stock. I actually am getting in contact with a company here in Tempe called Dynamic Tint. I have a friend who has worked with them in the past, and we're going to be doing some videos together. Firstly, we're going to be doing some new Expel paint protection film on the whole front end. That's going to include the fenders, the bumper, the hood, the mirrors. This car does have one tiny rock chip somewhere on the hood here. It's really hard to see because the car is white, which again, another perk of having a white car, it's hard to see imperfections like that. So that's going to be one big thing. I have that appointment scheduled for the end of March, so you'll see a video coming probably end of March, early April on that. That'll help preserve the front end. It'll be totally worth it. Expel just released a new film that we're going to be trying out. I'll probably also do some tint for it as well, maybe not that exact time, but it is kind of a fishbowl, and here in Arizona having tint is definitely a perk. Once I get bored of the power, which will probably be around summertime maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably start looking at getting a stage 1 tune. A stage 1 tune on these cars, meaning no exterior no mechanical modifications at all, can get you up to the mid to maybe even high 300 horsepower range, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Might also consider doing an intake. We'll see. That's all for a bit down the road though. So for now, it is going to stay stock unless you want to count the PPF as a mod. But yeah, I am just absolutely in love with this car, guys, and I'm going to have so much cool content coming on it. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see on this car. I will still be doing videos on the 9.3. Please do not forget that, those of you that subscribe for the Saab content will not be stopping. But since this is a new flashy thing on the channel, there's definitely going to be a lot of content on this for the time being. I think I plan on splitting the miles between the two cars pretty evenly. I don't want to make this my daily driver per se because it is pretty low mileage, but I also don't want to put all the miles on my Arc. So yeah guys, with that being said, I'll have another video in the future showing delivery day. It might even be my next upload after this. I'm not sure yet. I haven't gotten it all planned out. I'm kind of going over the delivery experience with Carvana and my actual first impressions on the car. I've driven it about 300 miles so far, and I am just absolutely obsessed, and I am just so happy with my decision, not regretting it a single bit. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed. Comment your thoughts on the car down below, and now that you've seen it in a little bit more detail, let me know what else you want to see or know about it. I'll be happy to tell you guys in the comments. Follow me on Instagram as well if you want to see some awesome photos. That's it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.